Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be can be
Mm-hmm.
blinded by pain and blinded by heartache, same thing, and blinded
His-
by our own
mhm.
trauma. Same
Mhm.
thing, and blinded by our own hurt and perception, but also free and loved and warm. And at the end of the day, hopefully, is what happens to us, and our life will be sweet. Hi, we're giving you a show we've done before, but a brand new season. Wahama, tell the kids.
Love is Blind Season 6, Episode 1. Give me a higher love. Oh,
Oh, give.
give me a higher love. Mm. Did you ever watch Hysterical Blindness?
No.
It was a great movie starring Juliette Lewis and Uma Thurman about like two party girls who grew up and one of them has a kid and the other one is just like extremely selfish. Uma Thurman's characters, it just made me cry. Boohoo, boohoo, boohoos. And I will always
What's,
remember it.
what's it called again?
Hysterical blindness.
Now, what is the correlation?
Because you said it could be blind love. It could be,
Got
you
it.
said
Yeah,
it just
got it.
five.
And yeah, didn't know
Mhm.
exactly. I didn't know if the higher love, the song came into it. I forgot exactly how we got into it. So, yes, couple of things. A, never saw it. I'll put it on the list. But also, B, I started watching finally Yellow Jackets, and Juliette Lewis is in that and
Mhm.
fabulous. And it's
Oh,
crazy and it's so great. And have you
is it
watched
good?
Yellow Jackets?
Not at all.
Okay, well, it's really important because it is our exact feminine time in life. It's a
Oh.
very so I think it's important. So, yeah, I really liked it. I'm only in the couple of first episodes. So, and then the third thing I was going to say is, um, wait, who's the other person in it? It was Juliette Lewis, and
Uma Thurman.
today on my own YouTube, I told people that people think I look like, because I'm talking about Love is Blind, spoiler alert, my celebrity doppelganger. So, as we'll get into this, the streets have said, picked up on a huge part of Love is Blind that happens a little bit later, but it's not really a spoiler because it's already been happening. Is that Chelsea, one of the contestants in one of the episodes, says that people tell her all the time that her celebrity doppelganger is Megan Fox. Now, my celebrity doppelganger, in that people tell this to me all the time, is Leah Remini. When I said this on YouTube today, people in the comments were like, yeah, also Uma Thurman. And I was like, whoa, what? 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 Maybe the thing that Uma Thurman and I have in common are how big our feet are. That's it. Now, I couldn't believe it, and I don't believe it. But having said that, people will tell people whatever they want to hear. You're looking at me as if I said it. I didn't say it, but that exists on the internet right now. I'll show you the receipts. I didn't say it. People in the comments said it.
But Leah Remini?
Oh, that's who you're. Yeah, people tell me I look like Leah Remini all day long. Multiple people over multiple years.
Oh. People always show me random videos of other Black women who I think I look nothing alike. And so what I have to do is send it to my Black friend and be like, do I look like this? Because such and such said I look like this. And she's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, okay, great. But it's never like a celebrity, which is fine. All right, so we're talking about Higher Love, which is the first episode in the 5 episodes that they dropped to us. The new episodes are dropping tomorrow, Wednesday.
Wednesdays. So every Wednesday on Netflix is what's happening. That's what we
I
are
don't think
drop.
it's I don't know if it's I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know.
Oh, great. Okay.
But so we first start off with our cast of characters. I don't really know how we start off, but this is how I like to do it. I like to just tell you the key players that they're showing us in the scene that we get. So we get AD, which is Amber Desiree. She's 33 years old and she's a real estate broker slash cheerleader. So good for her. Then we get Chelsea, who is a flight attendant who says she didn't go to a 4-year university, and she's the only person in her Delta flight attendant school that didn't go. I don't know if she works Delta. I just said that. She's 31. Then we've got Trevor.
Wait. Side note is with the tats, I do actually wonder where she works, because like there are certain airlines you can't have like visible tats like that. Now Southwest, I think you can.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
quite sure
that
about.
I'm trying to think. Have I ever seen? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are uniforms that are not long sleeve. But I imagine she just either wears her long sleeve or she gets some good makeup and puts it on it.
Yeah.
Like a good
And she's an event
Krylon.
planner, by the way.
Yeah.
She just planned her first wedding. Good for her.
Mhm. Yeah, good for her. So then we've got Trevor, who is 30, and he's an account manager of, very vague. And then we've got Clay, who's 31, who's an entrepreneur slash something else, but he lost me at entrepreneur. I hate when people say that you're an entrepreneur. I'm like, please stop saying that now. We all learned that word 25 years ago, and now we've been just using the shit out of it since COVID, and I don't get it. What I do like though is that a lot of people are in their 30s, and it makes it easier for me to watch this show than watch like babies talk about how they want to get married. Go.
Yeah, you heard entrepreneur a lot like 10 years ago. It's what anyone would say who like didn't quite have a job they wanted to like comfortable feeling like stating. And now I feel like the new thing is you hear angel investor, which
Angel
an
investor.
angel investor.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, you'll get it. Like now you'll hear like investor, angel investor a lot.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Guys love to say venture capitalist too for an entrepreneur.
Oh. So wait,
But
I'm sorry. Have
you can
you
definitely be a venture capitalist and be like a full on thing. But like putting up money, getting money for things, like putting it's entrepreneur, like a businessman that, like pursues new business, like, that's like what that means.
Yeah,
Kind of,
to
right?
me an entrepreneur is a businessman that doesn't have a business. That's what I always think.
To me, it's like they're starting businesses. Their thing is that they're like finding new things. Like they're like little pioneer businessmen. They're on the
Mhm.
fucking terrain. They're like Oregon
Yeah.
Trail. They're finding the
Mhm.
new business to stick their land in,
Mhm, mhm,
whatever, stick their
mhm,
dick in, make money out of.
mhm.
It's the American way.
Yeah, they're like
Anyway, yeah.
homesteading and going around looking for, plots of land.
So,
Okay.
do you think Clay's attractive? Do you think Trevor's attractive?
I think Trevor is attractive, and I think Clay is attractive, as far as just like physical looks, but he isn't attractive to me. There's like something about like I liked his radio voice that he gave us with AD, and then after that, I stopped liking him because I don't like that he's not emotionally mature, which is fair. He's only 31, and especially in the Black community, it's not something that you do. But also I do enjoy that he cried to his homeboys. I like that. I like the crying.
We can get yeah.
Okay.
That didn't even that almost made me feel like it wasn't happening. By the way, he looks like Orlando Jones to me a little bit.
Oh. Okay, I could
A
see it.
young a young Orlando Jones.
Maybe he's like Orlando Jones' son.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so then we've got Kenneth, who is 25 years old, and he feels like he's sick of people telling him, like, why does he have so much or want so much at such a young age? He loves the Lord. He's a middle school principal. Then we've got
Wait,
Jessica.
he
Mhm.
looks and he looks 43. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's so funny. He's very tall. His voice is low. It is like very low, and so like when he says he's 25 and he's a middle school principal, you're like, how? Where? Like it feels like you're lying to me, but why would you lie? It's unreasonable, but
Yeah,
anyway,
about being a
so
middle school teacher. Then we've got Jessica. Jessica
hi.
is 28 years old and she is painted. She is what I think Shekinah is going for. Like
Mm.
she's doing Shekinah at 28 as opposed to waiting until it actually falls. She's just already went for the fillers and the Botox, and she's done all the things, and she always has makeup on, and it's like full coverage. Everyone always has makeup on, but specifically her, it was just full coverage all day, every day.
Great point. By the way, you're absolutely right. Now, I don't know what the hair and makeup budge is and if all these girls are getting done, but their extensions are happening and all of them have fake eyelashes. They are strips or extensions, every one of them, and all of them have laid hair. Now, Jessica, who you just showed, her hair is perfect the entire time. I
Mhm.
can't even get over how perfect this girl's hair is. Now,
Mhm.
there's extensions, of course, extensions. But it's so interesting because we talk about extensions all the time on this show. Like, I just got done talking about Natalie's extensions on Single Life of 90 Day Fiance. Like, and there is just something that happens to blonde ladies with extensions that if you have brown hair, it's just so much easier to blend. But not look, whoever's doing all their hair is doing such a good job. But, let's just we all know what it's like to see the Britney Spearses of the world or the Paris Hiltons of the world, and blonde hair with extensions doesn't lay as nicely and as, like, comfortably as brown hair. Having said that, Jessica's extensions are so beautifully blended, I just, like, I'm dying, like, good for her. Now, she's definitely, done to the max, and so everything is everything with her, like Lauryn
Mm.
Hill.
Yes. Then we've got Jeremy, who is in intralogistics. What is intralogistics? We don't know, but he owns homes and he's not afraid to put that first. And I find that to be a fantastic quality in a man. Like just going ahead and lay out. I'm sick of these men who want to hide what they have because they're worried about gold diggers. No,
I did
don't
a
worry
little
about gold
research.
diggers. Go ahead.
Intralogistics or internal logistics is the branch of logistics that deals with the organization of the flow of information and materials within a given company. And that's how you bought that house.
Huh. So it's not
Mhm.
just regular logistics where you deal with the flow of like freight and product coming into a warehouse and leaving a warehouse.
It's the internal.
It's the
Yeah.
internal of information, which still is not quite specific, but that's fine. He owns homes, so his property.
He also spells his name again, his name is Jeremy. Jerami.
Rami. E.
Sorry, Y. It's not
EY.
it's not it's not yeah, whatever, it's EY. It's not I. But if it was Jerami, you would be so sad. Anyway.
Listen, that's his parents' fault. He didn't do that.
Okay.
Okay. Now we've got Laura, who's 34, and she loves to stir the pot. Now, doesn't Laura look like she should be a brunette?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? She also gives me like she could do the really dark hair, almost like Melissa,
Mhm.
like Love
Yeah.
After Lockup. I think that she
Yeah.
could really rock like a really dark hair. She could look like quote unquote Megan Fox with dark hair and light eyes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Then we've got Sarah Ann, who I mean, she's cute. She definitely though is in a lot of people's plot lines. And so I had to bring her in to show
Yeah,
her because she's important before we get to vacation.
she's
Then
the
we've
one that says she's a patriot, and
like a football fan? Oh, you mean
I don't know. Mm-mm.
like a she is
Like, I can tell you
a
who she's voting
fanatic
for at the end I can
American.
tell you who she's
Yes.
voting for at the end of the year, and
Okay,
this
great,
person is
great.
not Biden.
This person rhymes with bump. Okay, so on the ass of a toad. Okay, now we've got Brittany, who is a down home Southern girl. This is your Southern. She did cheerleading in high school. What flavor ice cream are you eating? Because I think I have that exact one in my refrigerator, in my freezer right now.
Planet Oat cookies and cream.
I have that exact one in my freezer right
It's
now.
great.
I haven't eaten it yet. Okay,
I'm so
now
happy for you. You can go grab it if you want me to talk.
we've got Jimmy, who is the first male on this show who isn't classically handsome. Jimmy is going to age very badly.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very, very poorly. There is the square head, the haircut choice. I mean, he's got a great smile, But yeah. So his thing is that he's like, people don't really know about me is that I'm the first person in my family to go to college on both sides. And at first my family was like talking shit, but then once I like got my degree, they were really proud of me. So that's his like chip on his shoulder, you know. So you know, some people when they come from meager background or like, you know, whatever backgrounds, like poorer backgrounds, they tend to, you know, be like, oh, this is the big secret I'm harboring. And I'm like, well, Jimmy, don't worry, you can change that in one generation, you'll be fine.
Let me say on Reddit, people said that he looked like Bart Simpson.
Wow. Wow.
Hey,
Uh,
I
wow.
know it.
He's in software sales. Then we've got Matthew. I mean, if Matthew could have just given us a little, I mean, such a polarizing figure, this Matthew.
I
Also
know.
somebody with social issues. And the most audacity.
Okay,
Um,
so episode 1, he is abrasive, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I saw him and I was like, oh, it's my exact type. Just my exact physical type. Look how deliciously broad and thick he looks, you know, like, and I don't mean to like body lust after someone because his personality is thusly that like we can't be together. You know, he's crazy, but he's also a wealth advisor, you know, wealth management person. I know that life, you know, it's like, oh, you know, what is happening with this thick wealth manager, you know? Oh, that's not him.
now Jeremy says that he has a thick neck, but I think that if we're running the thick neck gambit, we're gonna say Matthew has a thick neck, and I
Look
would
at
say
Trevor.
Trevor has
Yeah.
a thick neck. Trevor has a thick a lot of things.
Trevor has a thick neck and also has a little bit of like psoriasis or some sort of like little scalp rash, you know, like has such thick hair and he's having a little rash thing around the scalp area. I don't know if he needs to like moisturize with some oils or, you know, but that is what's happening to him the entire time. The
No,
entire time, honey.
I didn't notice it.
It's inflamed.
Okay, so Chelsea and Trevor are having a conversation and they want to talk about their favorite like day. What's your favorite day like? And I'm like, this is such a stupid question, but fine. So Trevor's like, cut grass, sunny day. I really he says some other like three other dumb things that I'm just like, oh. And then she's like, oh my God, we're the exact same person, except for I would love a cold Coors Light. And I could not relate to that because I have never heard anybody talk about Coors Light. Now, when I went live on my channel to talk about this, several people was like, "Yeah, I kind of love Coors Light too." And I'm like, "Do I need to try it?" But then I'm like, "No, I don't want to." Also, it's like people who drink Bud Light to me, it's all the same.
It was interesting because what he said is he wanted red wine and fish. That was a weird pairing. So that's what he was saying in his like he was like and then red wine and fish. Then she said Coors Light. Like, but what she didn't say is like fish tacos. Like I feel like what she wanted to say was like that like Cerveza Pacifico Corona fish taco moment, you know,
That would
but
be good. Mhm,
but I don't drink beer and I don't eat fish tacos, you know? So
mhm.
like but I do drink red wine. So like but you would have really need to have ended that fucking sentence with red meat,
You're
beef,
right.
you know,
You're
like
right.
that's how
Mhm.
that
Or white
neither
wine
one.
and fish.
And what kind?
I said, or
White wine?
white wine and fish.
You know what? Yes. And if you want to do a Pinot Noir and you have like a swordfish you want to grill, do you? I'm not saying like you can really find your own thing. I don't eat fish. I said that enough. I think it's disgusting. What little weird sea aliens full of mercury you want to put in your mouth, but you do you. Um, I think that there's a lot of the times that there's a lot of times a lot of girls really are like giggling giggling and like validating a lot in their own ways. And I think AD does it in some ways, but Chelsea will just giggle the entire time. I mean, she will just laugh the entire time. Like, I mean, it's it's almost like robotic to the point where I think that like I think I'm single because I never laugh at other people as much as I expect them to laugh at me. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Um, Here's the truth. She loves a ruche dress because every one of her dresses have ruching in it. And also, she does kind of look like, I mean, a pre-face lift and changing Megan Fox. Like she can give like a Megan Fox, Lindsay Lohan situation. Like she's got that red hair and those little freckles, and then she's got the dark hair and the light eyes. Like I see it. I'm not saying she's spot on. Like you're like, oh my god, it's Megan. But for Jimmy to have any kind of like feelings about it with the way he looks, it's weird to me. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
so Matthew with his list. So we've got Matthew. So Matthew has decided that he is going to come on the show Love is Blind, and his therapist is shocked that he decided to come on the show.
He doesn't
And
have one.
we
That's not true.
all we all recognize that he has some kind of social settings issue, or he's pretending. And he's just coming here to like be a menace. The same way that other guy did on that other season where he put eye drops in his eyes to cry. It's like he's just on the show. It's like one or two things is happening.
Yeah.
So he comes in and he's like, "Hey, such and such. So I'm going to interview you since this is Love is Blind. We're not going to have natural conversation. I have questions 1 through 15. So pick a number." So the first girl picks a number and she answers the question. And then he ends up just getting up and leaving. He doesn't say like, "Okay, thank you," or whatever. He's just decided that she has spoken too much, and he gets up and leaves. And I'm like, "Oh, you wanna be the asshole of the season, is what you wanna do." And so when he tries to pretend like it's just because of some weird social anxiety or whatever, I'm like, "Oh, I don't believe you because that is rude on anybody's Richter scale." So, he does that, and then, he asks another like and who he completely walks on out on is Sarah Ann. So, Sarah Ann now thinks he's a dick. He's walked out on he did something else to someone else, they think he's a dick, and then when they ask him back like, "Hey, well, so then what is your thing?" He's like, "Oh, tell me about it, whatever," and they answer him, and then they go, "What about you?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect that I would be asking or I didn't what? Why are you asking me that question? I didn't expect to have to answer the question back." And I'm like, "How?" That's how conversations are. You ask someone a question and then they go, "What about you?" at the end of it.
I think that you're right. I think that he was obviously trying to like play at something, except that when he gets to AD like is really good at disarming him. Like
Mhm.
AD to me feels like someone who has spent a lot of time thinking and understanding and like discoursing and talking to people across the board and has like a special understanding towards men because she knows she is very good at understanding and relating to men and women, but like I think there's like the way that she talks to both Clay and Matthew is very interesting. It's very different. She kind of like adapts her approach differently, but with Matthew she is strong yet submissive and sweet. It's like this she's like soft spoken. She gets to a very soft voice and she just disarms. I don't like, like it's I don't know, she's like quite masterful at it.
Yeah, I really love the fact that she's a dark skin, like a true dark skinned Black woman, and is so sexy and not in a like over the top way, but she just oozes this like sex appeal that I fucking love and I rarely ever get to see on TV in this way. And she like I think what it is that he tried to come with the bullshit, and I think that she was like, because I do that too. When I feel like guys are being like dumb during dates, I just play into it because I'm like, where is this going? I need this story. And I feel like AD was just going for the story instead of getting offended and being like, Like, I don't want to talk to a guy who's going to make me feel like whatever. A guy cannot make AD feel whatever.
I know.
And that's what it is. You're not going to make her feel uncomfortable, even though you're trying. She's just going to be like, oh, so is this what we're doing? You're going to just be weird? Okay. Well, let me ask you a weird question. Like, I think she's just going to be just going to go back and forth with him. And that's what I do when I'm on dates and shit gets weird. Or like they say something I mean, I invited this guy over and I was like, "Oh, I want to go to the grocery store real quick." And it was literally across the street. And I was like, "Hey, let's go to the grocery store." He's like, "No, you can go afterwards." And I was like, "Oh." He was like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to like let's just go to your apartment." And I was like, "Okay." So then we got to my apartment and I was like, "Hey, let me take your jacket. Let's settle you in." And then I grabbed my purse and my keys and he was like, "You're leaving?" And I was like, "Yes. I'm going to go to the fucking grocery store." Cuz that's what the fuck I said I was going to do. So you want to sit here and not go? Cool. Don't steal any of my stuff. And I left and I went to the grocery store and I did what I had to do because like you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to disarm me. I'm just going to play into whatever it is. I'm not going to get an attitude. I'm just going to do what I want to do and you can make a choice from there. So like I love that about her. I love that she was just not going to get upset cuz I feel like that's what happened to a lot of the girls. They were just like, "Oh, he's so rude." And I'm like, "Lean into that rudeness and be like, "So, what's your like, whatever." And so I like that for her. I like that for her. And he said something about being like, he's like, "I know I have a cold personality to start, and I'm not doing this to be a C-list celebrity." And I was like, "Boo boo, you won't even be C-list if you do this."
Well,
What are you talking about? No. You think you're
mhm,
Lauren and Lauren's husband? No, you're not. Or you think you're Barnett and Amber? No, you're not.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
No,
mm-mm.
no, no, no. You're not. Mm-mm. So they end up having this rapport and she goes back to the space and she's like, "I'm really liking Matthew." And every girl is like,
What?
"Oh, he's horrible." And I was like,
Yeah.
good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, we'll talk about the interesting ways in which the show has evolved from season 1 to season 6. But one thing is w this season, how much the girls give up information-wise to each other after they're done with their dates, because, we know God, thank you. Like, because we know enough now that people want to keep things close to their chest in certain times so that they can like get the law of the land, and they don't also want to hurt people, and they don't want to like make it seem like grabby and or not grabby but like
They want to keep the
uh,
sisterhood.
yeah, keep a separate sisterhood. It's obviously really shitty to be like, so and so is in love with me. We just had like, such a great time, knowing that someone else like might have that. It just doesn't come off well, and everyone knows they're going to be on TV. So it's always interesting if people are going to take the villain role, if people are going to instead try and project the best possible version of themselves, or if people are just going to live their lives and not realize they're on TV, and it's like, like some that's the three main options, so
Yeah. Um, the last interaction we have is we find out that AD normally dates ballers and players
mhm,
and athletes. And I was
mhm.
very happy for her in that situation. She didn't get the baller. When times get hard, I need someone to help me out. Like she didn't get that guy, but it's fine. So then we have Clay, and then
Well, she's
Clay
a
talks.
cheerleader. So, yeah, sorry. Because she's a cheerleader, we're just assuming that well, I'm gonna assume she's a professional cheerleader, like, and she plays we won't know, but isn't she yeah. I'm just when you heard that, did you just assume that she's a professional athletic cheerleader and, like, yeah, because of life, she's around athletes a lot, and that's just what happens. The other thing about AD, just to, like, really stand this woman, is she's in the gym and she talks about it all the time. She's been working out. She'll never stop working out. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, that's what I was like. I don't know what is he basketball? Is it? Football? What kind of athletes? What is
A
she?
baller, someone yeah,
Sorry.
instead of a scrub like you who don't know. Okay, anyways, so we have Clay, and she's like, Clay is who I would normally go with, like a tall, like obviously tall. I can tell he's black, I can tell he's suave, or whatever. And then Clay is like, I want to get a cat, and she's like, absolutely, I hate cats. I don't want it. I'm scared of them. And he's like, oh, I wanted to get a cat because cats don't need love. And I'm like,
Wrong show. You're on a
yeah,
bad
yeah,
show.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and, like, some of them don't want it, but some of them do. So, like, it's really weird that you're like, "I don't have to show a cat love, that's why I want a cat." And it's like,
Yep.
don't say that. Well, that's the end of this. You have anything else to say?
You know what? I'm just on Arena's Instagram, like, remember her?
Who's Arena?
Talk about,
Oh, Irina. This
she's just like full living her like Instagram influencer life, like her stories. And it's like, this is, I guess, her Patreon. It's just, look at it. Wow. It's just so like neutral colors, bed. I have a ceramic mug. I'm looking out the window. Like, maybe this is, I don't know, Malibu. Like, what a peaceful life full of self gratitude. I'm writing in my journal, reflecting upon, it's so interesting. Like,
But that girl also did not wanna get married. Oh, she uses that type of creamer, good for her. So do I. And she didn't wanna get married. She was not ready for marriage. I don't know why she was on this show. To be a villain and to promote her lifestyle brand or whatever.
she loves this mug, like, Jesus. Yeah. She's just, good for her.
Mhm. Alright.
Oh, it's a
Anything
beachfront
else?
rental. That's why
Any
she's staying in, like, that's why she's just getting this free place to stay. Good for her. So, you know what? Sorry. But yeah, Matthew's gonna get to be a D plus list, and maybe he'll get a free rental somewhere. So here's hoping.
Here's hoping. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. That's the end of episode 1. We have more episodes coming, don't you fret. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Bye.